In the early days of Cindy Newtown Baptist Church, God was doing a unbelievably great ministry among us. In fact, on our first anniversary, I think we had 139 people, something of that nature, and I had baptized about 60 people that year. And by our first anniversary, there were 4 people in our church that had committed themselves to full-time Christian ministry, which is an amazing thing in that short of a time, 1 year. I began to look for a place to send them for their education, and we sent one young man to a church that was a combination of German Baptist and Mennonite brethren. I read their doctrinal statement and everything looked well, but Brother Uozumi went to that school, and every time he'd come home it was something quite different than what we believed or practiced. And I began to think, if I'm going to have to reteach them, we might as well teach them ourselves. The only thing that we had where we could meet on a regular basis was a little room, 6 by 9. It had a table in the middle of it, and I decided that I would solicit the help of the other missionaries and just start a training program in our church, the Cindy Newtown Baptist Church. And at that time there was Uozumi-san, Uehara-san, Suguro Gama-sensei, and different people of that nature that had committed them. It's 3 of them, and then one young lady, Miss Matsumoto. And so the only place we had was that room, and had a table in the middle of it, so I would sit at the top of the table, and the students would sit around the table. I solicited the help of the other missionaries, and we began a Bible study just for our church. And I solicited Brother Ron White to teach New Testament introduction, Brother Markham to teach Old Testament introduction, and Leland Lanier taught Baptist history, and I taught evangelism. So each of us, and none of us had been in Japan very long, and even to teach one class was quite a task. Anyway, we got the room, and we had the classes, and everything was going well. At camp that year, after we had started the Bible college, 4 more people committed themselves to full-time Christian ministry. So we realized that we had to do something more than that. So we got a larger room in the Nishinomiya area, and then we had in Akashi, where I lived, there were 2 other houses. So we rented the 3 houses, the one where I lived, and then one for the girls and one for the boys. And we had classes in the one for the girls also. And that was the beginning of the Kansai Independent Baptist Bible College. At first it was just a study, Bible study for our ones in our church at Cindy Newtown. But then at camp, we voted to start a Bible college, and we named it the Kansai Independent Baptist Bible College. And I remember when we were so poor that we ate a lot of the real cheap food and so forth, the ramen, and I forgot some of the things that we got, but it had to be real cheap because none of us had very good support. In fact, my support was $500 a month, slightly over that. And imagine trying to live and promote a Bible college and things of that nature and so forth. However, God blessed in that. And I look back even now after all these years. Omote-san, Ogawa Sensei, let's see, who was the other one? Uehara Sensei. That all of them are still in the ministry, and it's just an amazing thing that God has done through the years. Of course, now they have a full 4-year Bible college, and have teachers and even teach the languages. When Brother Fraser joined with us after he had left the mission organization that had sent him to Japan, he had to leave that because of some confusion they had and so forth. And so he began to teach Greek in the school, and it just one way after another, God wonderfully provided for the Bible college, and several were educated in there. I think it was maybe 50 years ago now that all started, and I look back and realize that step by step God led in that and provided for it. So we had a very good beginning, and it has lasted all of these years. Thank God for that.